Yes, please, you can go ahead. You can start.
All right. Thank you very much. So you are welcome to this webinar. My name is Boadzie Daniel, and today we are going to talk about the exciting field of data science and how to break into it. I'm a data scientist with over 3+ years of experience, formerly Zoomit Africa CTO. I mean, that has ended recently. So that is my background. All right. Now, to get started, let's ask the question, what is data science? I know some of you have some opinion about the subject. So if anybody can unmute and then tell me, just one person, tell me what data science is all about, I'll be glad. Anybody? I hope they have the privilege of talking in a call, right? Okay.
If anyone wants to talk, they can just let us know, or they can also type in the chat.
Sure. That works too. Okay, nobody has said about data science. Please don't be shy, okay? It's fine. There's no right or wrong answer here. And I want this session to be a discussion instead of a lecture. Okay, Gordon.
I think data science is a process of organizing and analyzing data.
Right. Process of organizing and analyzing data. Yes.
Yes.
That is part of data science. So you are correct. Thank you very much for that. Now let's look at what we will be discussing today. Okay, so today we are going to talk about what data science is. We will talk about how to get into data science, why you should even get into data science, what are some of the tools data scientists use, the applications of data science that we know, how to become a data scientist. That is the part that is actually exciting, okay? When we get there, I will tell you my story of how I got into data science, okay? Then we'll talk about what recruiters look for in a candidate, okay? Then finally, we'll talk about some of the careers. So data science is a very large field and it has a lot of other career paths, okay, that you can take. And we are going to learn about all this, starting with data science and artificial intelligence. Now, data science, like I mentioned, is a process of what that involves pre-processing data, analysis, visualization, all the way to prediction. It's a interdisciplinary field that involves a lot of areas, including computer science, statistics, mathematics, and domain knowledge. And domain knowledge is very important because it is, if you're working in finance, in order to interpret the results of your data, your analysis, you need to know a lot about finance, okay? The area in which you're working. So data science involves all these areas. It also involves heavily statistical techniques, okay? You'll learn about some of them as we go along. AI, on the other hand, is the implementation of predictive models to forecast future events, okay? It also includes making machines perform human level tasks, okay? For example, the ability to talk, speech recognition, or the ability to understand human language, natural language processing, okay? These are the main differences between data science and then AI. Right, let's move on. Now, like we said, data science involves extracting insight from messy data. That is one. It also involves communicating this insight with visualizations and then statistics, okay? Then it also involves predictive modeling to predict some future events. And one thing that you need to note here is data science means different things to different people, okay? So a data scientist in, let's say, Facebook, could be doing something slightly different. Of course, they are all working with data. That is a common thing, but they would be doing something different from a data scientist in Google, okay? And sometimes because of HR that might not know a lot about the field, they put so many things in the job description that end up being not what they're actually looking for. For example, somebody might say they want people with so many skills in machine learning and all that. And then you go there and you realize that they're only interested in a data analyst, somebody to clean, analyze data, and then do some data visualization, okay? So data science mean different things to different people. Those are some of the reason why it's always a challenge when you're talking about data science individual, because what a data scientist would do in one company could be different from what a data scientist would do in another company. If you have any questions as I move along, please let me know, okay? You can just raise your hand and then ask your question. Is that okay? Right. Now let's talk about why get into data science now. Why is it important now? Okay. So we all know that if you go out there on LinkedIn or Indeed.com right now and search for data science jobs, you will see a lot of jobs, right? So there's a huge demand for data scientists and statisticians right now. And then according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is for US, they are estimating like a job growth of about 30 to 35% increase, okay? So data scientists are going to continue to be relevant. The reason is simple. A large volume of data is being generated every day, every single day. There's a number there, they're saying 2.5 quintillion. Now that is about what? That's about 2 billion terabytes, right? 2 million terabytes, 2,500,000 terabytes per day. All right. And all that data needs to be analyzed so that we can extract insight from it. And that will be done by what? Data professionals, including data scientists, data analysts, or the other data professionals that is in there. Okay. Another thing that has like made data science important is the increase in compute power. Okay. So because we are inventing new machines that can process very large data sets, it is now very easy to what? Do data science compared with the way it was before. Okay. For example, we have a tool like Apache Spark that can crunch like very large data sets. So we use it, we call it big data. Okay. Data that is large, changes quickly, that has so many other attributes. Is that okay? So there's a huge demand for data scientists right now. Now, let's look at the tools that data scientists use. Okay, so we can group them into different categories. We have programming to languages, okay, like Python. I'm sure a lot of you know about Python. We also have R. R was created for statistics. So R is very good with data analysis, data cleaning, and things like that. SQL, structured query language, that has been used to manipulate data from the beginning of time, because SQL is very old, right? And some people even use them together. They use Python and then SQL together, okay? A new tool that is emerging these days is called Julia. It's a very fast programming language that can also crunch very large numbers, okay? Then we have cloud tools, okay? For example, Google Colab. If your machine cannot process very large data sets, you can use tools like Google Colab, Paperspace. Amazon has their own SageMaker Studio that is new, that you can also use to perform your data analysis skills, okay? Now, we also have development tools. Jupyter Notebook is very notable. I'm sure a lot of data scientists use Jupyter Notebook. Currently, you can use Jupyter Notebook even within Visual Studio Code. Okay, so that is also very popular. We can talk about Excel and Tableau. Tableau is a data visualization tool that is very common. Excel too, you can use Excel for very small data sets, cleaning, visualization, and even analysis can be done with Excel. We also have statistical methods like EDA. So if you have a very large data, if you have some data that you need to work with, first you need to what? Analyze, you need to explore the data, look at the features, the kind of variables you're working with, and things like that. Okay, machine learning and linear algebra are some of the other statistical tools that we use. Okay, now let's look at some of the application of data science. At this point, I would want my audience to tell me some application of data science they know personally. That is not in my list here. Can anybody tell me some application of data science they know? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, how many people have heard about fraud detection? Can you tell us a little bit about it? Okay, so we can use machine learning to detect fraud in systems. Okay, for example, the fintech industry, we can use it to detect fraudulent transactions. Okay, you don't want people who are trying to like trick the system and then maybe get money from the system. That can be detected with machine learning. Machine learning is used in drug development. For example, the COVID vaccine that we got recently, machine learning played a major role in its development, okay? And that would have been impossible without, or maybe it would have taken longer without machine learning, okay? So data science is very important. It has a lot of application. Lead generation is another area. Chatbots, people use it to engage their customers. That is another area that is not here. Credit scoring. For example, if you want to take a loan from a bank, they use machine learning to determine whether you are credit worthy, okay? Whether you can pay back your loan based on your past transactions, okay? So there are so many different applications of AI, data science and AI that are not even mentioned. And some of them, because it's a new field, are not even discovered yet. Okay, that means that you have a rare opportunity. If you get into the space right now, you can find out your own application of data science and then use it, or you can create something new that nobody knows. Okay. All right. Any other question? Any question from what we've done so far? All right, now let's talk about how to become a data scientist. And I told you that I'm going to tell you my story, how I got into data science, okay? So a while ago, I entered into the University of Ghana to study IT, information technology, right? I have no idea what I was getting into. And after our first I realized that this was a very big mistake, okay? Because I scored 0 in that test and I didn't want to learn anything data science. But mostly because it started with anything IT. Mostly because they started us with C++. And at that time, beginners learning C++ was crazy for me. I told myself I was never going to program, right? Until I met this guy in my neighborhood who had little to no formal education. He didn't even go to high school. but spent all his time on the internet. So everything he learned from YouTube. Okay. And this guy introduced me to Python. So I decided then and then, because I saw some of the cool things he was doing with Python, and decided then and then I was going to learn programming. Okay. So I wasn't going to give up because of what the school was doing. But instead, I was going to learn a new programming language. Instead of learning C++, I was going to learn Python. So I started learning Python. After a while, I heard about data science. Back then, it was very hot. People were talking about it in the media, and they were calling it the sexiest job of the 21st century. For me, I thought that was cool, right? Don't want to be in a job that is called sexy, right? So I decided back then that I was going to learn data science. But there were little to no resources on data science. The university was not teaching data science. So it means that I had to do everything on my own, right? So I went looking for resources online. It took a while before most of it were articles. You could only get articles back then. Then later on, a few books started coming up on data science. Okay, so we're using that, practicing, and then learning things on your own as you go, right? Then after that, I took a few courses that came along the way. For example, the Super Data Science team had a very good course on data science back then. And that was the course, the first and only course I took on data science. I mean, back then. And it was really clear, like a lot of things were becoming clear. So the more I learned about data science, the more I realized that I needed to teach, okay? Because the fastest way to learn something, especially when it comes to data science, is to teach it. Because if you have to teach something, you have to learn it well enough to teach somebody, right? So it helps you, the learner, you, the teacher, to learn even more, okay? So I started a club on campus where I was teaching students, so level 100 students, data science and machine learning related topics. Fortunately, a lot of people were were interested in it. We were getting a lot of people to attend these lectures. Then level 300, I got a job as a software engineer whilst I was still a student. It wasn't data science, but it was a software engineering role. And with my Python background, I could fill that role. And I did that for a while. Then in 400, a Swiss company saw the things I was posting online. So the work I was doing with the club online. And then they decided to what? Take us and then merge the club with their Swiss nonprofit called Trussell Foundation, okay? And when I joined Trussell Foundation, eventually I worked for Fortire as a data scientist. That was my first real job in data science. I did that for a while, 1 year, then move on to something else. So currently my former role, which is CTO for Zoomit Africa. Zoomit Africa is an AI startup that is based in the US, right? But we work fully remote, okay? So that is how my journey has been. And most of the jobs I got along the way was through LinkedIn. Now, I'll tell you why this is important as we move along, okay? Is there any question before we continue? Is there any question? Right. So let's talk about how to become a data scientist. You saw my story. I started with Python, okay? So the first point there is to learn a programming language. And Python is the most popular programming language. Of course, R can equally do data science and even SQL. And at some point, depending on the role or the company you're working with, you may have to learn SQL and then Python, okay? So the first thing is to pick up a programming language. We've done that. The next thing will be to learn statistics. Okay. Most of the statistics you need for data science are very basic. It's not advanced statistics. So you can pick a course on statistics and learn the basic statistics that is required for data science. Next, you need to learn how to tell a story with data. Data visualization is crucial because at the end of the day, if you can't explain to non-technical people why and what you did during your analysis, then the value of data science will be lost, okay? And then the organization will not benefit from it. The most important thing to a data scientist is to create value for the organization. Either you make them money or you save them money, okay? So if you can make the value clear through your visualizations, then it means that you can create value for the organization, okay? And then you are performing your role as a data scientist. That would include data visualization with tools like Tableau, okay? Tableau, Power BI, or any of the other BI tools that are available. You can also use code. So Python can do data visualization. You have tools like Matplotlib, Seaborn, and all that. Dash that you can use to build dashboard in Python, right? Then after that, there are a few non-technical skills that you need to acquire. For example, communication is very important. As a data scientist, the most important tool is communication because you have to explain your findings with people who are not very technical. And if you can't convince them to your line of thought, to what is presented in your data, then your analysis would have been for nothing, okay? So communication is crucial. Analytical thinking, problem solving, creativity, those are very important skills that every data scientist needs. So you need to cultivate them if you have to be a very good data scientist. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to give a few tips of my own journey and then some of the lessons I learned along the way. One thing you need to remember is programming is problem solving, okay? The reason why we program in general is to solve a problem, a real world problem. Okay, so when you are doing anything, either analysis or you're creating anything, you need to remember that you are trying to solve a problem. You need to define that problem clearly, and then you need to make sure that your solution is solving the problem, okay? So you don't deviate from your target, your main goal, okay? Another thing that you need to look out for is you are only learning when you practice, okay? So practice is the fastest way to learn anything. You can be watching a video, but until you actually write a code, you are not learning much, okay? Until you try to do something yourself, you try to experiment, you are not really doing much, okay? Another thing to remember too is sharing is growth. I told you that I mentioned earlier that when you share your knowledge with others, you are also helping yourself. It is not just them or it's not the people you are talking to, your audience, that is benefiting. You are also benefiting when you share your knowledge, okay? Because you have to learn it well enough to tell somebody about it, okay? Another thing too is the details matters. The little things that is easy to forget or to take for granted are crucial when you are programming, when you are doing data science, okay? So every little thing is important. You need to be attentive. Failures and bugs are a crucial part of the process. Yes, you are going to be failing along the way. Things are not going to work the way you expect. It is all part of it. We all go through that. Even those who are like very advanced in the field, okay? Sometimes your analysis is not going to make sense. You need to constantly go back, recheck what you did, and try to improve it. Another thing that is also important is it's okay to ask for help. Okay. So sometimes when you need help, you need to ask for it. And it will surprise you that more people are likely to help you than you think. Okay. Then finally, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. That's what they say, right? Sometimes the best solutions are usually a simple solution. Okay. So don't try to complicate things. Simple is always better than complex. And complex is always better than what? Complicated. That is the philosophy of Python. All right. So those are some of the tips that I want to share with you. Is there any question here? Any question? Before we go to what recruiters look for in a candidate. Yes, Solomon.
Hello.
Yes, go on.
Hello, please. You can hear. So my question is, if do I need to have a degree or a certificate before I can be recognized as a data analyst? Or if I don't have a degree or I don't have, certificate or something, can I get a job?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Solomon. Thank you very much for that question. So I didn't mention this, but I don't have a degree. I've done, of course, I did 4 years in a university, but I never got a degree because I started working even whilst I was a student. Okay. Every skill that you need to acquire as a data scientist is a learnable skill, and everything learnable can be learned by anyone. You don't have to be in a university to learn those skills. Okay. I've got jobs. I still get jobs even though I don't have a degree. Is that okay? So I'm going to tell you how you can set yourself apart from others in order to be noticed, okay? Even though you don't have a degree. Yeah, Solomon, you have a follow-up question.
All right. So my second question is, can I relate data science to any of medical sciences? Like, for instance, let's say I'm a medical personnel. How can I combine data scientists with medicine or health issues?
Yes, another good question. So I mentioned that one of the most important parts of data science is domain knowledge, right? It means that if you're a data scientist in healthcare, whatever you do will be applied to healthcare. Okay. There are so many applications of data science in all fields. I mean, some are yet to be discovered, but in healthcare, there are so many applications. For example, chatbot I use right now to diagnose diseases. Okay, that is one application of data science in healthcare. Is that okay? Or AI in healthcare. So there are so many applications. Data science is so broad and it cut across everywhere. Analyzing financial documents is another thing. Natural language processing, an area of AI, okay, or machine learning, is being used in the health center to analyze huge volumes of what? Health documents. And this document can provide insight as to how, even with diseases, people are getting more of, and how doctors can what? Prepare for those kind of diseases. Robotic surgery is another application of AI and data science in the field of healthcare. Robots are now performing surgery. Okay, so there is a huge application of data science and AI in the health industry. So I'm sure you will find a way to, like, that's something you just have to search, okay? All this information are out there. Just Google it, data science application in healthcare, and you see a lot of applications. Okay. Any other question? Did I answer your question, Solomon? Solomon, have I answered your question?
Yes, please. I understand you. I'm okay.
All right.
Uh,
Great. Any other question? Please don't be shy. Ask questions. Okay, this is a discussion. It is not a lecture. Right. Okay, if there are no questions, then let's talk about what recruiters look for in a candidate. So when you're applying for a job, oh, okay. Yes. Sha. I don't know whether that is the name.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that your name, please?
Zoe.
Oh, it's Zoe. Okay.
Yes. All right. So you talk about Python and other software for data scientists. Is it advisable to learn all, or you just pick one?
It is. Okay. Thank you very much for your question. So you can just pick one, right? Python or R, especially when you're a beginner. Later on, you can add any other one. Now, one thing about programming is when you learn one language, the rest become easy. You can learn them in no time. Okay, Zoe, is there another
Okay.
question?
So I'm good with that.
Okay, great. So you don't have to learn all. And even on a job description, they put a lot of languages. Like I said, this is usually done by HR people who don't know anything about the field, okay? So they put so many languages that are not even relevant. And those things should not discourage you. You should still apply anyway if you know just one language. Because at the end of the day, it is either or, okay? So they're asking whether you have this or you have that. Any other question?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, please. I wanted to ask if, for example, you've already specialized in data science. Can you decide to move to a different career like cybersecurity or something else that is not totally related to data science?
Yes. I mean, that is more of a personal decision. You can go into anything. And one thing too about data science is you can, if you're a data scientist, all the other career areas that we are going to see right now, you can move from one to the other.
Okay.
Yes, because I do AI, even though I'm a data scientist, I do AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning. I sometimes apply for different roles. So I have CVs for machine learning. I have one for data science, even data analysis. Okay, because most of the skill sets is what they are all related. Okay, they are so related. Of course, there are extra things you need to add to them, but they are so related that you can transition from one into the other.
Okay.
Right. Any other question? Okay, so let's talk about what recruiters look for in a candidate. Okay. So one of the things that is important to a recruiter is how passionate you are about the field, about the job, and then about the company. Okay. And you have to show that by the kind of project you've done on your portfolio. Okay. So if they are looking for a candidate in, let's say, a job in healthcare and they've seen that you've done projects in those areas, it means that you are passionate about that area. Okay, you show them you are passionate about an area by the kind of project you do instead of telling them. Okay, so passion is the first thing. Another thing they are looking at is your communication skills, and that will also show in your CV, your LinkedIn profile, and how you communicate with people. Okay, how you communicate with people in general. So communication is very important. One very important thing is your project. Okay, the kind of project you've done or the things you work on. And this is perhaps the fastest way. Even if you don't have an experience in data science or you've never worked for any company, you can still, if you have very good projects, you can get jobs. Okay? You need to do now, what kind of projects should you be doing? Project that involves doing end-to-end machine learning. So from getting the data all the way to creating a model and even putting it in production. These days, it is not enough to do analysis in the Jupyter notebook. You need to put your code on GitHub. You need to, in machine learning, you need to create an API around it so that other people can use your model, okay, after building it. My former role as a CTO, most of the things I did is building machine learning models and then creating an API around them. Okay. And there is even an emerging new field in the field of data science that is concerned with putting machine learning model in production. It's called applied scientists. Okay. Applied scientists is a new role in data science now that involves people building machine learning models and then putting them in production. So it involves both software engineering and then data science, two merged together. And that is an area that is very interesting to me. Okay, I'm moving towards that area now because I've been doing work in that area. I've been building models and then deploying them on scale. Okay, so AWS, Docker, and all those things. Okay, these are some of the tools that we use in that regard. Okay, any question before I continue? One, okay. So the next thing is problem solving here again. So if you can demonstrate when working on a project, how you solve a problem. Most of the times, the recruiter is more interested in how you solve the problem than even your solution. Okay. So if you can walk them through what your thought process was, how you solved the problem, the things you did to solve the problem, you are more likely to get a job than if you just presented a solution. Okay. And most of the software interviews at the very big companies like Google and all that, the most important thing is your thought process. When they're interviewing you, they want to see how you think instead of giving them the answer. They want to see how you arrive at the answer. Okay. So problem solving is important. Creativity. Sometimes if you do things in a way that is not obvious, okay, that shows a deviation from the status quo. So maybe everybody will do this way, but you thought of another way or another application for data science and you use it, then you are being creative. That is all it means. It doesn't mean like something sophisticated. It means thinking in a different way from what is the norm. Okay. So those are the things recruiters are looking for in a candidate. And you need to demonstrate all this on your CV, in your interactions on LinkedIn, example, LinkedIn or social platforms like Twitter and all that. Okay. Any question here? Any question before we move on? Yeah, Zoe.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, when you talk of plural projects,
Mhm.
I don't know what exactly you are referring to.
So
I'm
I'm
new
talking
to
about,
this, so please forgive me.
yes, go on.
So my
Yes,
my question, yeah.
yes. So if I got you right, the project I'm talking about here is for you to, let's say you've learned data science, right?
Yeah,
At first, all you've been doing is following some tutorial, okay?
yeah,
Then when you are done with the tutorial, you pick up a project, okay? Something that you've learned, okay? Or you try to apply the knowledge you've learned in data science in an area, okay? So you can decide to, one, build a machine learning model to predict something. You can scrape data from the internet. So web scraping is another area. You can build a deep learning model that will predict something or
okay,
detect something. Okay,
okay,
those are the projects I'm talking about.
all right.
Yes. So there are so many things in that regard. There's so many areas that you can go into, or project ideas that you can come up. If you are lacking ideas in that area, you can just Google some of the popular ones that are around. If you Google data science project ideas, you will get a lot of them out there. But it is important that the project that you do is one that you want to do. Okay, it should be a project you care about and that is unique to you. That way, when they ask you to talk about it, the passion will be there. Okay, it won't be a project you copied from somewhere. Of course, you have to copy some things from somewhere, but it should be a project you care about personally. Do you understand that?
Yes, please.
All right.
Thank
Any
you.
other question? You're welcome.
Yeah, I think there is one question in the chat.
Oh, sorry. Yes. Can you please? Okay, so can you throw more light on creating a project? Right. Have I answered that question?
I think you have.
Okay. But in order to reiterate that question, so recently I wrote an article. Those of you who are following me on LinkedIn, I wrote an article on web scraping, how to scrape bestsellers with some tool in Python. Okay. That is a project. I went all the way. So you pick a website, you scrape titles, I scrape titles and all that. And then after that, I clean the data and then exported it as a CSV. That is a project. A project I can put on my portfolio. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. Any other question?
I'm not interested.
Okay. Well, let's talk about some of the careers in data science. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with data analysis, right? What do data analysts do? Can anybody tell me what data analysts do? Anybody? Yes, Zoe.
Data analysis, to screen a set of information and to make predictions about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks for the
Or
effort.
to make it in a presentable way.
Okay. That's not bad. Any other person? Yes, Clement.
Please, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. Forgive me, I have to join the class in the middle. I just closed from work and I joined. But my understanding about data analysis is someone who is able to take raw data and make some sort of meaningful information out of it.
Yes, you're not far off at all. Thank you very much. Solomon.
Okay, so data analysis, their work is to review data and also to identify key insights in the, especially let's say a company. So they identify the key insights into the business or customers in a way so that they can use to solve problems in the organization.
Yes, right. So you are all right. So data analysts collect, organize, analyze, and then what? Extract insights from data, okay? And then they communicate it to what? People or like leaders of the organization so they can make informed decisions from it, okay? The true value of a data analyst is what? Creates to help companies make informed decisions, and informed decisions are decisions that are data driven, okay? The one that is based on the data, okay? The information that is coming from the data. That is what data analysts do. Their work is close to what data engineers do. So they collect, organize, and then clean data for data analysts and data scientists to use, okay? So that is a data engineer. Zoe, is your hand still up? Or is the old one? Okay. Okay, cool. And you know who a data scientist is? Machine learning engineers are more concerned about, they also do data cleaning, they analyze data, then they build machine learning models, and sometimes deploy the machine learning models so that software engineers can use it in a product, okay? So that is what a machine learning engineer does. A statistician, which is also in that same space, is concerned with what? Applying statistical methods to data analysis, data cleaning, and then data visualization, okay? So those are some of them, the job roles. We have AI engineers, we have even more data architects and all that. So this field is large, and every day new career paths are being discovered, okay? And like I said, every organization have their own definition of a data scientist. So therefore, a lot of careers will continue to pop up in the data science field. Okay, so when you are a data scientist, it is easier for you to move into any of these career areas. Is that okay? Any other question? Okay, now it's question time. Any question, any concerns, anything at all? Yes. Right, let's start with Ya.
Hello, thank you
Yes.
very much. I'm sorry for joining the meeting late, but I want to know what the path to an analysis.
The part, I don't understand the question.
I mean the career path. What is it like?
Oh, so
Where
the
do you
data,
start from and where do you?
then I guess you have to go back and watch. Now, can anybody help Ya out? Can anybody tell Ya all the things we've done? Yeah, you get the answer to your question right now, okay? Anybody? You can unmute and talk.
Hello.
Yes. So
Yes, please. You spoke about, you said it's not really important to get the degree. You said that you need projects, and then you need programming too. So you should learn a programming language first. And you said you did Python first as your first programming language. And then you said the project to show like your blogs, like your practice and all that. And then your courses, so you can do courses in statistics and other stuff to get to your career.
okay, thank you very much, Zoe. But I am not saying getting a degree is not important. If that is the part, it is just another option, okay?
Okay. Okay.
If that is where you want to go, that is fine too. There are companies who want somebody with a degree, okay? But that is not the only way to be a data scientist, okay? You can be a data scientist by learning to perform the tasks that data scientists perform, okay? You do what they do, and then you become them, right? So data scientists, what? They know statistics, they know some basic mathematics, they know how to clean data, they know how to tell a story from data, they know how to build machine learning models. So when you learn how to do all those things, you are a data scientist. Okay? Yeah. Is your question answered?
Very much. Very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes. Question time. I
then
saw Jennifer's hand.
question in the chat, and it's from Ralph. He's asking, would you advise one to start as an analyst before a scientist? What is the preferred progression?
Well, I would say it depends on you, but it is easier for most people to start with data analysis, okay, before they transition into data science. I didn't go through that part. I was only interested in data science, and that is the path I took. So you can just focus on data science and become a data scientist, or you can go through the data analysis route. Mind you, data scientists perform the role of data analyst as well. So data analysis is part of data science, okay? So no matter where you go, you will still meet data analysis. Is that okay? Which means that you, even if you are learning data science, you don't have to wait until you know everything in data science before you start applying for roles. You don't have to do that. When you know data analysis, you can start cleaning data, doing projects, and performing the task of a data analyst. And there are a lot of companies who are ready to hire data analysts, okay? Because they are valuable to them. They can perform, they can do things that will help the organization. Is that okay? Okay, any other question? Clement?
Hello, sir. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. The first and the second question, I think, has answered my question. I was basically going to ask the same thing because I did administration and I have a degree in administration, but I also have interest to enter into the tech space. So everything that I look for is to get into the tech space. So I was also basically going to ask, where do I start from? Is it data analysis or data science? Whether anything that will push me there.
Yeah.
But I'm interested in analyzing data to make meaningful data out of maybe a raw data, something that I'll become meaningful to my organization.
Okay. So that your experience as an administrator will be valuable later when you jump in data science or data analysis. So you need to keep that experience. You just have to find a way to apply it. Okay. And regarding courses, so I will be putting up a course very soon. on data science and data analysis. Okay, because it will be a paid course. But those who are interested can take the course. Another thing that is happening right now is, I don't know whether you know about the 365 career. They teach data science. So it's a course platform that teaches data science. And they are giving 2 weeks. So they are giving you 2 weeks free access to all their courses, including the courses on data science, data analysis, and everything else. Okay. So you can jump on that, sign up for these 2 weeks and learn if it hasn't passed already. I'm sure they are still doing it. Okay. Then you learn their courses for free. Is that okay? There are other platforms doing that. Okay, so DataCamp is another platform, it's a course platform. They also do courses on data science. You can jump in there and they are giving away some freebies, I think, for some period. So you can jump in there and then go and at least get oriented with data science, okay, before you even make that decision. Yes. Clement, is your hand still up?
Also,
Oh, sorry.
Okay, the old one, okay. Any other question?
Another one coming from Shasha. She's asking, is a career in DevOps also under data science?
No. DevOps is not under data science, but if you're going to be an applied scientist, you will be doing some DevOps. Okay? It comes with it. It is not a requirement, but it makes you, how do I put it? It gives you an advantage, okay? But DevOps is a field on its own. And in very large organizations, they have DevOps teams that are different from data science teams. So data scientists don't put their model in production. It is being done by what? The DevOps teams, okay? But in most of the organizations you meet are very small. So it's one person doing everything. You get it? Is that okay?
Okay, so there is another one from Hannah. Hannah is asking, do we need big data in machine learning, or we can just work with simple data?
Yeah, so it depends on the kind of work you are doing and then the kind of data that is available for the project. Okay, if the data is big, then you're doing something related to big data. Okay, now volume is not the only way. We can talk about data that is changing very fast, like social media data. That also constitutes big data. So big data have some terms. They call it the 5Vs or the 6V or the 8Vs. And I talk about volume, variety, velocity, that is the rate at which it changes and all that. There are so many other ones. But so it depends on the project you are doing and the data that is available for the project. Sometimes what I do is, if I have a data that is a little too large for my machine to process, I use big data tools like Apache Spark to clean and then analyze the data, because I can't use a tool like Pandas. I will have issues when I'm doing that. Okay, so I use big data tools depending on the type of project I'm doing and then the volume of the data. Is that okay? Have I answered your question? Any other question? Please ask questions.
Hello, Daniel, please.
Yes.
Did you address Isaac Agweshi's question in the chat? So he asked, please, which programming language is also appropriate for data science?
Yeah, so apart from the Python, R, SQL, Julia, you can also use C++ for data science. Okay, They are trying to do something around it, even Rust. Okay, but they are not very popular. But they are coming. They are all trying to get into the data science space. And even Excel. So don't forget Excel. Most people start with just Excel for data analysis, data cleaning, data visualization. Okay. Most companies, all you'll be doing is using Excel. So that is also very important before you get very large programming tools like Python and all that. There is also paid software as a service tools like SAS, the MATLAB and SAS and all that can also be used for data science. But those are paid tools. They have some free tier, but most of them are paid tools. Any other question?
Sarah wants some clarification on Apache Common Text. So she said, I just came by Apache Common Text. Can you explain what it means?
Hannah, can you please, Yeah, Hannah, can you ask your question again?
This is from Sarah.
Oh, yes, Sarah, okay.
Yes. She said, I just came by Apache Common Text. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, but it's
Apache, is this
yes,
Spark? Apache Spark?
Apache Common Text, APACHE Common Text. Can you explain what it means?
I don't know. I'm not sure I've heard Apache. I mean, the way you are saying
maybe she can give us like a reference.
Yes, can you
from
please
an
give us a
article or
reference
something,
so that
drop the
I
link in
can
the chat.
quickly click?
Yeah.
Let me find out what's going on. Apache Common Test. Yeah, let me try that in my browser quickly. Never heard of it anyway. Yeah, so when it comes to tooling, there are so many tools out there. You can't keep up with all of them, okay? You only use the tools you need when you need them. Is that okay? Of course, there are some common tools. I've never heard of this. Apache Common Text is focused on algorithm working on strings. Okay. For string manipulation in Java, I believe. It's in Java, right? Yeah, I think so. Yes, I don't do Java, so I wouldn't know about this. Is that okay? But there are so many tools, okay? That's for the tooling, even Python alone, there are just so many. There's so many, okay? So you pick the one that is popular, that can help you get a job done. Any other question, please? Yes, so Hannah is asking, do I have projects on Kaggle or GitHub? I have a lot of projects on GitHub. Kaggle, not so much. I stopped doing competition a while ago. I started doing competitions a while ago because I was so busy, didn't have time for them. But I put a lot of code on GitHub. I have a lot of repositories containing like some data science, some other things, web development tools. Okay. So as for GitHub, every data scientist need to learn how to use GitHub. Okay. Kaggle is good. I go to Kaggle to get data. Okay, that is my main source of data. If I need data for a project, I'll look at Kaggle first. And then if the data is not there, then probably I'll scrape it myself and use it. Okay. So Kaggle is very important. They have courses as well for free. They have free courses. They have data sets. And sometimes you can participate in the competition. Of course, doesn't mean you win, but of course you have to try, okay? So that is what Kaggle is for. And it's good that every data scientist have an account on Kaggle and then GitHub. Is that okay? Any other question? Okay. You sure there's no question? Nobody asked me about data science salaries, or you're not interested in the money? Okay. Since you're not interested, I'm not going to tell you. Oh, you are? Oh, okay. Right. So then let's just Google it. Now, so the amount of money you will get when you start working full time will depend on your experience and the kind of company or the geolocation of where the company is, and then the kind of company you're dealing with. Of course, the big tech companies pay a lot of money, but getting their jobs is very difficult. Okay, it's not going to be easy, but it can be done. Okay, but you don't have to restrict yourself to them. There are so many other companies that are interested in data scientists. And there are startups, especially when you're a beginner, your best point of call is startups, okay? They can't pay you a lot of money, but they will help you get valuable what? Experience. And that experience can help you get a better deal later. So don't underestimate an internship or a job with little pay with startups when you are beginning. But that also has its place. When you get to a point, then you can ask for more money, okay? And get paid a lot more. So we can look at some of the average data science salaries. This is in US and other places. Right? So when you Google something like that, okay. So maybe let's go to Glassdoor is a job portal. And on average, they are saying, oh, sorry. Yeah, on average, what is this? I don't want to do your survey. Okay. All right, so let's leave Glassdoor. Let's look at Indeed.com. So in the US, so on average, you can get like 100,000 plus a year. This is a year, okay? This value is a year. Now, if you break it down for Ghanaian, that is a lot of money, right? Thanks to our dollar. Or what do you guys think? How much is that? Divide that by 12 and then convert it to the Ghana cedis. How much would that be? And that is for people with 3 to 5 years of experience. I don't usually care about the experience. The type of project can still get you a job, even if you don't have experience. If you have very sophisticated projects, you can still get a job without even a good experience, okay? So this shouldn't deter you. And then for entry level, you're looking at 84,900, 934 a year on average, okay? So some people pay way more than this, others pay less, but on average, this is what you're looking at. in the US. And I said the amount you get depend on where the company is situated, the size of the company, and of course, how you are able to negotiate for the amount, okay? So normally, if it's a foreign company, you want to look at how they pay in the country on average, and then try to negotiate your salary around that area, okay? Of course, sometimes it comes with benefits. The 401k benefits is also there. Most companies have that, some don't, okay? So you don't expect, it's not like a hard and fast rule that everybody should pay this, okay? So every company will decide on how much to pay. And for Ghana here, if you are fortunate, you get 3,000, 5,000, okay? Don't expect too much from Ghana here, okay? Because you're not going to get that. Some people are paying 5K and over, others less than that. All right. Any other question? Any question now? Yeah, so I just mentioned Ghana, okay. So Ghana, you can get like 5K plus or less, depending on the company, your experience, and then how you were able to negotiate the salary, okay? And normally, Ghanaian companies don't come with benefits, normally. Yes, monthly, that will be monthly. That'll be monthly. When you did the calculation, did anybody try the calculation? Divide by 12 and then converted it into the dollar. Maybe times 13 point something or 14. Nobody tried. Look like you people, you are not interested in the money. I'm glad.
I tried.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about 1 million 2,006
So
961.
when you divided by 12, what did you get?
So divided by 12,
Yes.
that's 100,058.15.
Okay. So let's say no, it was 100,000. 100,000 divided by 12.
100,000 divided by 12.
Yes.
100,000 divided by 12 is 8,333.
Yeah, so you get 8,000 a month, $8,000 a month. And then when
Yeah.
you put it into Ghana cedis, that would be like 80,000 plus, right?
Yep.
Or even more.
Even
Now,
more.
yes. Yes.
That's
a month.
103,333.
Yes. Those things are all possible. Okay. It is possible. Of course, they will require a lot of effort on your part as well. And even for less than 1 year, that is like 84,000, right? 84,000. You divide by 12, that is also around 6,000, 9,000, 6,000, 7,000. Okay, which is also a lot of money. But getting those jobs remote is not easy. If you go out there, you can get those jobs. But remote is not very easy. Okay, you have to struggle a lot. But it can be done, okay, because people are doing it. Is that okay? Any other question? So is your hand still up? Okay.
Yeah, Daniel, so I think there is no other question.
Okay.
So we can just
End the session.
draw down the curtains.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you very much, guys. So these are some resources. I am sure everybody has access to the slides. Okay, some resources that can be useful.
Yes, so thank you everyone for joining this session.